Hey guys, my name is Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I talk about motherhood, I talk about pregnancy, we do things a little natural. What? I did that last time too. Natural, granola. If you're on Instagram, let's connect on Instagram. I'm there on Instagram stories like every day, just telling random things that happen. This week has been very interesting, so I'm going to tell you about it. So I'm filming this on a Friday, starting Saturday night. Aaliyah was laying in her bed, and then about 1:30 in the morning just started vomiting everywhere. And you're one of two people. You're either the person that gets up and like acts in an emergency and like handles everything and knows what to do, or you're the person that freezes. I'm a freezer. Unless I'm by myself, then I can kind of handle it better. Seth is an actor, and he not only acts quickly, like he says things slow down for him, and he can just like move all the pieces perfectly. So he's like orchestrating bringing Leah into the bathroom while she's throwing up, and like I've got puke in my hands because that's what you do when you're a parent. There's puke on the mattress. Esme's crying. We move her to her room. She falls asleep. She's just like, get me back to bed. So Seth is dealing with Aaliyah, cleaning her off, calming her down. I'm stripping the sheets, bringing them down to the wash, getting everything figured out. From 1:30 to 4:30, Aaliyah's puking. And I have not experienced puking with Aaliyah yet. Like, it is the saddest thing to see your little 2-year-old. I have a 2.5-year-old, and then the baby's 4 months old. She's gripping the toilet seat, and like her little hands gripping the toilet seat made me so sad. Seth is like, are you crying? I'm like, yes, I am crying. She's throwing up, and then she goes, I did it. And I'm like, you did do it, baby. Good job. It was so sad. Eventually, like a few hours in, Seth is like, you should go to bed. Because we heard one time when Aaliyah was born, one sleep-deprived parent is better than two. And we've kind of followed that motto. Like, if something like this is going on, at least one of you just needs to go get some sleep. I go and get some sleep. And he stays up with her. And she would, like, cough. And then that would be, like, the start of it. So now whenever we hear her cough, we're like, are you going to throw up? And she knows now, like, what throw up means and if she's going to. And she'll go, no, I'm just coughing. We're like, okay, great. So she finally stops, like I said, at 4 a.m. The next day, Sunday, she's just sick. Like, she's whiny because she just wants to be held, and she wants to watch TV and just have it be very mellow and chill, and she still throws up like 3 times that day. I look and it says if she's puking like 3 days in a row, then you need to take her in. So I'm like, okay, we're on day 2. Hopefully she doesn't puke tomorrow. She did. She puked also on Tuesday. So I was like, all right, it's time to bring her in. So on Tuesday, we bring her in, and the doctor's like, this is norovirus. This is like a foodborne illness, and it's a stomach bug. And he's like, it is, as you know, not fun for the start of it. And it starts up here, and you're vomiting, and then it moves its way down, and then you have diarrhea. He's like, I'm like, oh, we're at diarrhea. He's like, oh, well, then you're probably at the end of it. He was wrong, but he's like, and it's also very contagious. And I was like, cool, because she just sneezed in her baby sister's face earlier, so neat. He said by saliva, and then by like the diarrhea or the vomit or whatever is coming out, norovirus is in that. So I call Seth, and I'm like, she's got norovirus. This is what's going on. And he's like, I don't feel well. And he's at work. I'm like, okay, well, keep an eye on it because you could have it. So he throws up at work, so he comes home. So he's home, and he is aggressively vomiting for the rest of the afternoon. Like, so I basically am like, you stay in there. This is another one of those, one person is better than the other. You stay in there, you get better, obviously. I will do all the children things, so I get Ezzy to sleep. I come outside to get Aaliyah to go down to bed, and Aaliyah goes, Mommy, there's something in my nose. And I was like, what do you mean? And I could hear Seth throwing up in the bathroom. Esme's sleeping in her room. It's time for Aaliyah to go to bed, and I look up her nose, and there is a blue thing up her nose. I'm like, Aaliyah, what is this? And she's got this thing, because we read this book. And they say, where are those monkeys? Where did they go? Where are they hiding? I really don't know. And from that, now, whenever she says, I don't know, she just goes, I really don't know. And so I go, Aaliyah, what's in your nose? And she goes, I really don't know. Cool. So I call the nurse hotline or whatever. There's something on my daughter's nose. What am I supposed to do? And she's like, well, I know they can't really blow their nose at this age. I'm like, oh, she can. So I plug one side, have her blow out the other side forcefully. Nothing, okay? We get the free to sucker, try to suck it out. Nothing, doesn't come out. She goes, I know this is going to sound weird, but I want you to plug one side and blow into her mouth. And I was like, I forgot to tell you, she's got norovirus, and I'm not going to put my mouth in her mouth. If it was I would have done it, no problem. But she wasn't in pain, she was still breathing, everything was fine. I was like, but my husband's got norovirus, so let me go wake him up. So I go in there, and I'm like, hey Seth, Aaliyah's got something up her nose. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, it's something blue. I don't know what it is. and the nurse wants you to blow in her mouth. So Seth is like the best human of all time. Instead of it's just like, lay down, let's pin you down, and let's blow in your mouth. He's like, all right, Aaliyah, we're gonna play doctor, okay? Can you put on Dad's gloves? And like pretends to put on the gloves, okay? Can you put on my glasses? She like puts on the glasses. He's like, yeah, can you wash my hands? Okay, cool, now you're my patient, I need you to lay down, okay? She got a little squirrely at the end, but she was very cooperative because he played with her. And that's genius. He's such a good man. So he blows in her mouth. She hates it, doesn't move at all. The lady's like, yeah, I'd take her to the ER. So I'm getting ready to take her to the ER. But Esme has never taken a bottle. She just breastfeeds. And she still wakes up throughout the night. So I'm like, well, Essie's gonna wake up. You've got norovirus. Don't really want you touching her. Plus you're not gonna be able to comfort her. And Seth is like, well, why don't we just wait till the morning? And I was like, okay. It's not obstructing anything. I don't know how long it's even been up there for. So we wait until the morning. I get the kids packed up and ready to go. I've never been to the ER with her. I don't even think I've been to the ER unless it was like an emergency where I got swept to the back, because who knew that the ER was worse than like the DMV? Initially I was gonna go to my doctor's office, and my friend was like, you might want to call and see if they do that. Called the doctor. The doctor's like, no, just go to the ER. They have like stuff that can mildly sedate her or dilate the nostril, things that I can't do here. So we get to the ER. I have Ezzy because Seth is still not doing well at the house. So I've got both kids. When I check in, I'm like, yeah, she's got something up her nose and she has norovirus. And the nurse was like, cool, that's fun to have in the lobby. And I was like, I know, lady, but what am I supposed to do? Once we get finally checked in, they're like, yeah, it's about a 2-hour wait. Well, it was like a 2.5, 3-hour wait. Over nap time, so Aaliyah's getting squirrely. Ezzy was a dream. She's in the carrier. She falls asleep, she wakes up, I try to nurse her. Girl does not nurse unless we're laying down on the bed. She was just super chill. So by the time we finally get called back, Seth shows up, which I was really grateful for, because I was like, if we need to sedate this kid, I don't know that I can handle this by myself. Like, obviously I could, but I'd rather him be there. So we get back, and the nurse looks up her nose, and she goes, that's interesting. And I was like, what kind of a response is that? What do you mean that's interesting? She's like, looks like it's been up there a while. But let me see if I can get a tool and see if I can move it or if it's embedded. So she grabs her little tool. She's like, oh yeah, it moves really easy. Let me grab these alligator scissors or alligator, I don't know what they're called. She literally reaches up there and just pulls it right out. Aaliyah is like frozen. And it was funny because when we were at the doctor before, because he checked her fingers like this to check for dehydration. Apparently if you pinch it, it turns white and then it should turn pink like quickly. If it takes like 3 to 4 seconds, they could be dehydrated. So he does that, and she's just laying on the table like this. And she's laying there, and he's going, there should be a term for this, because all, like, the kids do it. And she's still just sitting here like this. He's like, they just freeze. She's just, the nurse is going up there with the thing, and Aaliyah's just frozen. And they're like, they tried, she kind of, like, didn't like it, and the nurse was, like, not messing around. I'd be like, oh, okay, calm down, I'm not making it worse. She just, like, grabbed it, yanked it out. Can you see this? It's like a crafting gem, and it's huge. Like, you can't even compare it. It's ginormous. Ginormous for a little toddler's nose to be up there. We don't have this at my house. So this is from daycare. And we went to the ER on Wednesday. The last time she was even at daycare was Friday. So almost a week it had been up there, and I had no idea. So part of me is like, did she puke it up and it came this way and went in her nose? Or did she shove it up there? Odds are she shoved it up there, but I have no clue. The lady goes, this is the 3rd one I've taken out this week. What? What? And I put this on my Instagram, and then of course I got all these messages about like, oh, my son shoved an entire Lego man up his nose, or like put something in their ear, or a marble, or all, and I'm just like, what? What is the fascination? So yeah, so this came out of her nose on Thursday. I'm just telling a story quickly, okay? Is that you right there?
Yeah.
I see you. Did you just wake up from your nap? Was it a good nap? Oh. So Wednesday we get this out of her nose. Thursday, Seth is feeling a little better. Now I wake up. I am feeling exhausted and I'm feeling a little bit nauseous. So I used to do a lot of essential oils and like look into all of that. So I look up essential oils that help with norovirus, and it tells me oregano. So I'm like, oregano, cool. It says it's second to bleach. do your own research on this. Do not trust what I say. So when Seth was throwing up that night, I was like, Seth, let me put this, you need some of this under your tongue. So I put oregano under his tongue. He's like, Shay, it's burning. And so I'm looking up how to take oregano orally, and it's like, do not just put it in your mouth. Dilute it with water, coconut oil or something, because it will burn. He's like, Shay, it's burning, it's burning. I was like, drink more water, just drink more water. Do you hear Ezzy crying now? Don't take it straight. So I wake up and Seth is like, take the oregano. And Seth calls this my witchcraft. I also put like on guard or thieves on the bottom of his feet, down his spine, diffuse it, the whole thing. After I gave Seth the oregano, he stopped puking. So when I started feeling sick, he's like, take the witchcraft. So I don't take it like I gave it to him. I put it in a cup of water with like 2 drops of oregano and a little bit of water, and I take it. My lips burn, but I felt better after I took it. Can't say that it's for sure that, but I definitely felt better, and I didn't puke at all. And then I started feeling a little nauseous at the end of the night, did the same thing, and I was okay. So far, Ezzy's been okay. She was really fussy yesterday, so I kind of think it started to go through her a little bit. And that's ink for a printer, babe. But she seems to be doing better today. So everyone's just a little bit snuggly and a little bit low energy and a little bit needy. I think we're on the other side, and I almost hesitate to say that. I think she puked yesterday, but it's because Seth gave her hot salsa. I was like, maybe not on a flu tummy. He's like, yeah, that probably wasn't a good idea. But I'm always impressed that you like spicy. Do you like spicy foods? Yeah. So that's pretty much been it. This week we have done no daycare, so I've got no work done, which is fine because this is my main priority. That's something that's really been like sticky with me lately. I feel like on Instagram everybody's like, you need to find you before you had kids, and like you need to find that girl, and it's taken me 2.5 years to get here, so with a grain of salt. But I'm like, this is still me. I'm just a mom now, and that is part of my identity. And they're like, you need to find your identity without being a mom. But it's who I am now for the rest of my life, so it's not. And I do work, so I do other things other than being a mom, but this is like the most important work that I do, I think. I'm finally getting to a space where I feel that way. Doesn't mean that I have really freaking hard days like this week. It means that I'm enjoying it more. And
Mom!
Yeah! The other really important thing is that people are like, hey, how can I help you? It's really, really hard to ask for help, especially when your whole family's sick, because you don't want them to come over and get sick, but you also are like, maybe just bring a meal. So I started panicking that I was going to be like sick like Seth, like puking all afternoon. You got her. Puking all afternoon and like having the chills, and I wouldn't be able to nurse Esme, and I don't have a pump. So I like reached out to a bunch of people, asked for pumps. They brought coconut water, they brought tea, they brought bone broth, and it's a skill, I think, to know how to ask for help. Well, I'm well enough that I could make dinner, but I could have just said, hey, can you bring over something for everyone to eat? I don't know, I still am really bad at asking for help. But that should be it. That's it. Should we go get some food?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're all well, and I will see you all next week. Bye.